We request everybody to take your seats in the front. As you can see, the dignitaries and our chief guests have arrived. So we request everybody else as well to come inside. And let's commence with the first technical session.
Welcome back to all the dignitaries and delegates. We had a very fruitful and inspiring inaugural session. Now we'll be starting with technical sessions. Before that, there are 2-3 important brief announcements. Number one is we have got a lot of papers and time is limited. So all the presenters are requested to kindly stick to their timings as allotted to them by the chairman and co-chairman of the sessions. Secondly, to save the time, all the presenters are requested not to waste their time in exchanging the pleasantries for addressing every dignitary by name or post. They may say good morning or whatever once and quickly start and come to their papers. And the third announcement is the construction handbook by Sri M.M. Goyal is available at Irison stall free of cost. So whoever is interested or all the delegates, you may kindly collect it from there. With that, we will start the technical session 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhawat. And now, do we have everybody's blessings? Everybody is here? If yes, and everybody, if I am audible, can you just raise your hands or give me a huge round of applause, everybody? Let's give yourself a huge round of applause. Let's start on a positive note. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So now, for the first technical session, we would like to invite the chairman and the co-chairman to the dais. I request Shri Avnish Pandey, CTE Central Railway, to kindly escort our chairman, Shri Subodh Jain, former member engineering and of Railway Board. Let's put our hands together where we can see them. Next, I would request Shri S.K. Gupta, CBE Central Railway, to kindly escort our co-chairman, Shri Madhuresh Kumar, former GM, East Central Railway. In this technical session, once again, let's put our hands together. In this session, there are going to be total 3 papers that will be presented. Check. Without any further ado, I would request the chair and the co-chair to kindly commence with the opening remarks. The parameters, the time bound, rules and regulations which you have in mind. So this session overall is for 1 hour and there are 3 papers to be presented with the Q&A. It's right there, sir. Check. That we'll do from our end. Yes, sir.
Mic, sir?
Just for 1 second, sir. Team, can you please bring 2 mics over here? Thank you. We also like to make starting now, it's 1 hour for 3 papers. So we have revised it. Now we have 3 papers. Yes, sir. No, sir. Just wanted to understand from your end if there are any opening remarks, any parameters, anything which you are looking forward to.
I just want to say that number 1, there are 3 papers. Kindly confine yourself in 12 to 14 minutes so that there is enough time for the question answer and for summarizing by the co-chairman and chairman. Because all the 3 are rolling block items, There may be repetition. The first speaker, if he has mentioned something, I will request the subsequent speakers not to repeat that what is the policy or what is the procedure. So kindly avoid repetition because the subject matter is very close for all the three papers. So after 10 minutes, I think you will give some warning this thing, and
Yes.
another after 10 minutes will close. We will request the speakers to kindly
14 minutes.
be disciplined about the time-wise in their initial presentation, because if their presentation is interesting, they will certainly get enough time during Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Chairman. So as he rightly mentioned, we request everybody to kindly follow discipline and follow the timelines. And along with that, kindly keep it very precise and to the point. And let's make it really a nice, productive and substantial presentation. So the first paper which is being presented is the Railway Resilience, analyzing the effectiveness of rolling block planning in mitigating service disruptions. And the authors are Shri D. Anjaneyulu Yulu Reddy, CTE, South Central Railway, and Mrs. B. Geeta Sahiti, SSEPWay, Headquarters, South Central Railway. So let's put our hands together and best of luck. Over to you, sir.
Kindly announce who is presenting.
Most respected member infra, sir, respected AMC, sir, the dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen. Namaskar. So talking about analyzing the effectiveness of rolling block planning is an important subject which we heard right from the Honorable Railway Minister to Member Infra, sir, how much importance they have given. They have already told us. So as I too would like to share my experience, I have put in 30 years of my service as of yesterday. And I can tell with pride, if anything happened, an administrative decision in my career that has brought the transformation in the railway working, it is the implementation of rolling block program. We shall be grateful to our beloved member infra, sir, for being a part of this program, following it up for its effective implementation across the Indian Railways. I am so happy, and all of you so, that everyone, right from Railway Minister to General Managers to CRB to DRMs, all the PHODs talk only one subject on the zonal railways, that is rolling block program and its implementation. Member Infra, sir, we are really grateful to you for taking all the pains of holding several meetings tirelessly on Sundays and Saturdays, even the day and night, talking right up to the DN levels, and brought a transformative change in the mindsets of field engineers right up to the PWIs. I would like to make a small point. There is a little clarification to be brought in. What is rolling block program? What is rolling block planning? There is a confusion. Even myself I had initially. When to talk about what is a rolling block program, when to call it as a planning. As all of us know, any program has different stages. The first stage is planning stage. Next is implementation. Next is result or outcome. What is it that we have achieved at the end of the day having done this program implemented? The planning stage talking about, as you know, we made a baby steps for first 1 week, then we went ahead 2 weeks, 4 weeks, then 8 weeks, then we are at the stage of 12 weeks. It is just in the phases so that people don't reject it, because it's a very important and cumbersome process to appreciate and understand, because we never had this approach of planning well in advance. So therefore, now we are at the stage of 12 weeks planning. I'm sure very shortly we are going to have a 26 program, which is the finality of this. Next is implementation. As all of us know, it's a very simple thing that whatever, because of the pressure from Railway Board, and then we have understood the importance, the people started implementing it. The most important is what is the result or outcome that we have achieved so far. As of now, in a very crude form, we are able to appreciate the outcome of this as only percentage blocks granted, meaning blocks granted by blocks demanded. If it is more than 70%, we are very happy that yes, successfully have implemented. Here I would like to slightly differ. Apart from this, we have to go much beyond. What is the productivity? What is the accountability for the block that we have taken for this? For example, track missions on Indian Railways are the prime movers and for maintenance and commissioning of the projects. Means most of the blocks are being availed by track missions. As you know that every zonal railway has a different norms. For example, BCM in one zonal railway does in 3 hours 50 meters. Another zonal railway does 600 meters. What is the difference of this? So therefore, an accountability has to be brought into the rolling block program in terms of its productivity of the missions or any other block that we take it. Reguttering work, for example. Some of the railways does it in 6 hours. Of course, it can vary from place to place, situation to situation. But still, we need to have a benchmarking for each activity. For each 1 hour that we take it, there should be a benchmark and there should be a correlation with what was the best done in Indian Railways or for that zonal railway or for that division. And it should be correlated and it should be evaluated so that the very purpose of this rolling block will be achieved. So with this background, I will move on to my actual presentation. As I told, in my opinion, we made a great beginning, but the finality has to come, yet to come out. So this is what the planning is. These are all very simple words. Anybody can read it and understand. So I'm not going to speak much about them. Game-changing approach, we discussed strategic coordination, innovation and interest, addressing growing demands, advantages, disadvantages, stakeholder coordination, broader implications, and the most important is integration of control office application with TMS. This is the one important thing which I would like to highlight before I discuss at a later point. That is, we have already a control office application which has been developed with great force about 7 to 8 years back by Chris, and it has been rolled out and then it has started implementation. But because of the accountability on operating department, also on the engineering department, it has taken a back seat and people are not willing to implement it. And my discussion is going to be primarily on this, how to tailor-made for effective implementation of rolling block program, so that apart from the planning, there have also been accountability on all the stakeholders, like all the various departments. And finally, to develop an app for the field supervisors who will just browse it and then he will be knowing it, what is demanded, what is the granted, what are the block timings, so that even in the remotest areas of the Indian Railways, a supervisor should be able to appreciate and then start making use of the rolling blocks. So to corroborate what exactly I was talking about, so I have to tell you with the results. So therefore we made one case study on one section of about 300 kilometers, an important golden quadrilateral where the trains are running at 130 kmph. This is 300 kilometer section where we have chosen just to present the results. And all of us know that there was, after implementation, there was in the first month itself, there was a 14% increase. In the second month, 20% increase. The number of hours when compared to the last corresponding year, there is a great change, what we can see it. So this is in different way of analyzing it when compared to maintenance hours blocks and granted. So there is a great improvement. You can see this 88%, 145%. So finally, the case study, what is that we have concluded? That time when we wrote this paper, we had the data of only July and August. Now we are armed with 4 months data, including the September and October. With pride, I can tell you that it has gone up to 25%, 30%, 40% also in South Central Railways, every block section, everywhere. And finally, if you look at what is the outcome that we have achieved, the outcome is very important to know. The asset failures have come down drastically, especially the where interface is available. For example, points or crossings, tamping. Earlier, because of the paucity of the block, because we were begging for the blocks, therefore we never had confidence to go and take an adequate block and remove the SNT installations and then start packing it. With this confidence, South Central Railways has entered into JPOs wherein every points or crossings, unless SNT installations are removed, no point can be said to be packed. Same is the case, axial counter areas. Axial counter areas, as you know, it's a very, very sensitive areas where people have been not able to remove it because there is no block availability. Now there also we have made a JPO, and then sincerely we started implementing. The results are to be seen. Even we have seen the TRC results. In the latest run what we had, there is a significant jump in the TRC results, significant reduction in the asset failures, especially in the SNT and even the TRD, because earlier we were not much doing the pre-block arrangements because of the paucity of the adequate blocks. So therefore, I'm very happy to inform you as a Chief Track Engineer of South Central Railways that asset failures have drastically come down, and certainly the punctuality in those sections have certainly improved. So as I was telling, unless there is a software, unless there is a support system, it is very difficult to take this all along. Because now MI sir is there, therefore sir is so intensively working on this, therefore all of us are motivated. So irrespective of the person who is heading the organization, unless we have a software which appreciates and understands. So therefore, this control office application presently being developed, being tailor-made to suit the rolling block program needs to be well understood. So I will discuss further about what are the things that are required. The futures what we are planning is for advanced block scheduling, resource optimization. These are all okay. One very important thing I would like to highlight here is customized reporting. Just by a click of a button, you should be able to know anything what has happened in the last, let us say right from July onwards, which division, which block section, which senior RVNLs, which IPWE, what he has demanded, how he has made use of the block, productivity of the machines, everything should come out of that. So that predictive analytics is one of the most important things, making use of the machine learning and artificial intelligence. This is one of the most easiest things to understand how the traffic pattern is there, which is very seasonal. And then what are the months in that particular block section or in that section where the blocks are made available, where a mission should be able to tell to the IPWE or to the senior DN or to the CTE. Therefore, he will have a right approach towards planning for the blocks. Now, presently what is happening is whenever you have a longer blocks demand, you just ask it. It is at the mercy of some other department. If he is in a good mood or if he is an efficient person, he comes forward positively, or unless there is a pressure from railway board, this is not going to be implemented. Therefore, it's my sincere earnest request that we should start making use of the artificial intelligence, machine learning, predictive analytics. Very easily it can be tailor-made to suit what the current need of our rolling block program. These are the very important things that we should appreciate, that if you want to actually make it sustainable in a long run, options of corridor blocks is one of the most important things that South Central Railways we have analyzed. Many sections do not have even 1 hour to 1.5 hours corridor blocks. How is it possible that any operating officer on daily basis to cancel an express train, a long distance train, or hold it and then start planning for the blocks? So long as people are putting pressure, Railway Honorable Minister is so much putting pressure, yes, it's possible. So therefore, I sincerely request that there should be a mechanism where we should start thinking about creating the corridor blocks so that there is a possibility that in a long run we can sustain on this. Rising awareness on GMT impact. GMT, as all of us know, that the more the GMT, the more the blocks that are required. But unfortunately, this has not gone into. So the conclusion finally, sir. I would like to take only maybe another 50 seconds. South Central Railways is one of the pioneers in doing any innovations, any first time things, anything to be done. Therefore, it is my humble request to all the MI sirs and other dignitaries available here, kindly give one opportunity to South Central Railways as a pilot study for modification of control office application to suit the rolling back program using artificial intelligence, machine learning, and predictive analytics. It is very much possible, sir. We had already discussed with Chris also. They are also very much important. They are also very much motivated to this. But unfortunately, what openly I am telling, sir, because we started the approach of whole to part. In the sense, at the highest level. This is a very small decision that needs to be taken at the very ground level. And this needs to be first tried amicably in a zonal railway where we have less number of obstacles to implement it. After this can be implemented across Indian Railways. And sir, to quote an example, I am telling you, sir, very recently, UDM user depot module was the one which was meant for only to analyze and to replace the existing IMMS. It was the initiative of the South Central Railways where it was tailor-made for the track machines to process for non-stock attendants, and finally to integrate with IREPS so that seamlessly we can integrate all the activities into one UDM. So therefore, if you give us an opportunity, 100% we'll see that within a short period of next 3 to 4 months, we will tailor-make the control office application into a long-lasting solution, and finally one app will be developed where it will be useful for all the field officials. Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Reddy.
All right. Just wanted to inform once again that we have our volunteers out there with some papers out there, and you can ask them whichever question you want. So while the session is going on, while they are presenting their papers, if you have any questions for the speakers, for the authors, you can definitely mention that and you can pass it on to us so that we can ask those questions on your behalf. Now, the next title of the paper is Rolling Block Paradigm Shift in Inspection and Maintenance of Railway Infrastructure. And the authors are Shri Rajiv Gupta, CTE NF Railway, Shri Sahemlung Kamei, Senior Den Lumding NF Railway, Shri Chetan Kumawat, Aden Lumding NF Railway.
Who is presenting?
So the mic, one second.
Hello.
Mic testing.
Hello. Myself, Rajiv Gupta, and with me, AEN Jagi Road, Mr. Kawag. Respected MI sir, respected sirs and dear delegates, my topic is on rolling concept, which is a revolutionary concept introduced by Honorable MR on June 23rd, and within 3 months it has taken a high jump and removed all the obstacle of PWE man. It is a revolutionary step again. It is a innovative idea with hassle-free working, and every PWE engineer up to PWI is very happy with this concept. Now, no senior DN has to sit in the control room for changing the block, which we used to do as a DN and senior DN. Third most important change is that working of different departments like SNT, electrical is underdoing is one umbrella. Hence, it is a hassle-free thing for all departments. Just we have made a small comparison between the conventional method and rolling block approach method. Conventional method was more reactive and unpredictable. Here, block predictability is certain and it is proactive in the nature. Here you can efficiently regulate the train for traffic blocks. There was conventional approach, there was inefficient regulations of trains. It is herely in rolling block, your block is certain. So you can utilize the resource more effective way. Fourth is with effective planning, increase output of machines. Output of the machine has been increased. You can do the efficient planning of track renewal and daily maintenance works. You can, there is interdepartmental coordination is there because everybody is working in the same block. SNT, TRD, construction, everybody is thinking in the same block. There is effective utilization of block in the shadow. It is a flexible in nature. Once you have freeze the block for 26 weeks, but before the day of block, one meeting is being done within the division where you can demand for extra some emergency block or there. Hence, it is a flexible in nature. There is checklist-based planning, long duration planning. For CTR work, you can plan which work you will do today, which will do tomorrow. Next, it is rolling in nature. Once the block 26 week is over, 27th week is added on that. And last is a continuous monitoring of the work is there because in the every evening you get the output and you can discuss with all your divisions. As a silent feature, this was starting with the 2 week. Now it has been extended in the 26 week. It is our proud to say that Rangia division has already made 26 week program and sent to the board in the Indian FR. It includes all maintenance and machine works, incorporation of all department, construction, PCU, advanced planning for the next week, and next day work is being shared with the all supervisor. Once you make the rolling block, it is before the day of execution, it is being circulated to all departments, SNT, PWE, TRD, operating, even with the construction people. After that, each person has see and fill their demand. Again, it is being put up to operate for the final approval. In the night, a conference is being made with the different stakeholders at the senior DN, senior DM, and senior DST and senior TRD level. A final modified sheet is issued before the day of block. And next, once a week is over, then 27th week program is added on that sheet. It is flexible enough because any unforeseen which you have expect, you can add in that sheet before the day of execution. Rolling block performance has been divided in two parts. First is the important track works where we keep, and part B is the machine blocks. Important activity of all things, whatever you can think, CTR, TRR, glute joint, TSR, TR, de-stressing, SEJ inspection, every minor detail is being filled in the important track work. Progress is monitored as per rolling block because in the evening you have the progress of all the works and the output of machine. We have daily, weekly meeting where we discuss the output of the block. Block as granted as per rolling schedule, but if there is certain agency, it can be added in this. So this is the sheet where the advanced planning of the work is done. Each and every department, SNT, engineering, electrical, along with the name of supervisor, resource mobilization, everything is filled in the sheet as an advanced planning of 26 weeks block. After block is being done, we have left-hand side the planning of the corridor block in with name of the machine, minor section, major section, location, and block plan. This is the left sheet where the traffic agrees. We will give you 2-hour block, 3-hour block with the exact timings also they give, so that you cannot wait for that time. You are waiting for the block. And next time is the next sheet on the right-hand side is the output, where the timings, where the block will be granted, output, everything is come on the sheet. So you have planning of the all machines, time of the all machines, output of the all machines, everything is visible here. Similarly for machine, we have one sheets. We have demanded 26 block initially. This is the future. This is the initially which we have demanded at the time of preparation of the sheet. But the day we have executed about 34 hours block on the day of. Similarly for the maintenance block, each and every item, de-stressing, welding, TRR, glute joint changing, TTR, every work of maintenance you can add on this. Even minor works of fish plate greasing, TFR, SEJ, welding, everything you can put it here and you can summarize position of the progress there. And in the end we have made a summary that machine block initially we have thought about 26 hours, demanded we have 33 hours, and granted depending upon the block availability, if we have asked the block of the DT for 3 hours, if the margin is there they can increase the block, that's why we have got about 34 hours. Similarly, we have planned initially 30 hours, demanded 29-hour maintenance, and granted this one. So that's why daily this type of summary is being made. So we have a summary of that block, that on the day of we have planned initially 26, demanded 33, granted 34.5. So everything is available to everybody. Now we have just made a comparison how the things was previous and past of the lumping division. You can say previously in July 22, we have about 942 hours block was granted. Now this year in January 22, 28 hours block has been granted in the same month. So there is an increase about 41%, machine block 34%, RE block has increased, make a greater jump of about 200%. SNT disconnection we have about 20-25% block. So overall scenario has, we have a block jump about 33% with this planning. Similarly, this has been compared in a bar chart manner. We have maintenance block increase, machine block increase, RE block in the same month, July 22. And this is the percentage increase 41, 34, and 122% of the RE block. Similarly, we have made the comparison of August. There was remarkable change in August 22 and August 23. From 581 maintenance block, we have jumped to 1304 hours of the block in the month of August. Similarly, in machine block, we have jumped from 523 to 763 hours. This is a comparison of Unimed we have made just for the March 23 in 21 working hours. We have block available about 43 hours. In August 23, we have about 23 days block, but block hours were 61 hours. Progress of points, 22, here we have 46. Similarly, in the DT, we have 24 days block, 27 blocks in August. Block hours has increased from 59 to 71, and progress has increased to about 60%, 51 to 81 crore. So longer duration of blocks are available per day. Progress has increased significantly, and overall increase in the machine output. Similarly, we have compared of our another division of the Alipur division of the NFR. There also the progress has increased about 28%. This is the overall LFU of NFR, where block percentage is between 80 to 85% on overall basis. Innovation of the Alipurdwar, which I have told that before the day of block, a spreadsheet is made based on our advanced planning and being shared with all the departments. All departments fill their block. If any emergency block is required, they also fill in that. After that, a meeting is held with all BOs, and that is finalized before the day of work. Food for the thought, 2-3 items which I have mentioned that we have not linked our punctuality with the block granted. Everybody talks with the DRM meeting about the punctuality, but what block has not been given to us is never discussed. So I share with the House that the punctuality should be linked with division, should also be asked how much block they have committed and what they have given. That thing is my suggestion that should be included in the manner. And similarly, this timing of the ETA has been linked with the kmph, just less than 100 kmph, which should have 6 minutes. But in the NFR, there is a lot of work of track renewal due overdue. So this ETA should not be linked with based on the speed. And last one is that once we have giving the block, so availability of machines, like machines are much there. But if you say we have 5 PQRS and 5 BCMs, but have only 4 DTS. So once the block is being given by traffic department, they ask you relax the caution. But due to less availability of the DTS, a dynamic stabilizer, it becomes quite difficult to remove the caution. So block availability is there, machine is there, but some important machines just take 1 DTS, which is missing in our section. And third is the OEM. Once you have increased the block hours, now your machine goes the breakdown. You have to go for the OEM. 3-4 days we have to wait for the OEM. And in case of non-availability of block, it increases to 10 to 15 days. So we have some policy that at OEM should set at least 1 satellite station in each zone so as to avoid this time loss. Similarly, NFR is receiving Chinese temper from the CRSCC. So for that also spare and service parts should be looked into. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for presenting your paper. And now, let's have our third and the last paper from Technical Session 1A, Rolling Block, Paradigm Shift in Inspection and Maintenance of Railway Infrastructure. And the authors are Shri Beneet Bhagat, Senior Den, Malda, Eastern Railway, Shri Samarth Garg, AEN, Jamalpur, Eastern Railway. And presenting, who's presenting? May I know?
We both will present
Together. All right. Best of luck.
Good morning, everyone. Respected MI sir and all respected dignitaries. Myself, Vineet Bhagat, and
myself, Samarth Garg.
We are going to present on the topic which was being discussed, rolling block, paradigm shift in inspection and maintenance of railway infrastructure. We have kept our presentation in the following format, in which there's a brief introduction, and then we will discuss why rolling block is required in the current working system, and then how do we look at it, the rolling block from the divisional perspective, and then the challenges we encountered to make this system work, to implement it in the current scenario, the action we took after to overcome those challenges, and finally the conclusion, the takeaways. So briefly, we would just say that railway working, we have a vast network of assets. There are more than 100,000 kilometers of track. Similarly, a lot of bridges, signaling systems, electrification. So going into the scale of the assets, which are tangible assets and which we require periodic inspections and then need-based maintenance to supplement it. This system used to work very well. It has been working for the last 150 years. But with increasing assets and with increasing speed, we needed some sort of planned working system. So let's move on.
So coming on to why rolling block is required. So there are various challenges in the existing system. Like for long distance trains, they are difficult to predict the movement. So there is uncertainty in granting of blocks, due to which there is improper planning of resources. So this creates a vicious cycle of improper planning, and due to which the demand of block is increased, but the block are not granted. So there are a lot of energy and efforts of executing officials and operation officials lost in this time in creating this time slot. Also, it is difficult to find the right balance between safety and punctuality. So then this is the challenge, like system become archaic, and this requires major paradigm shift in the system of blocks. So what is actually a rolling block? Rolling block system is basically a type of agreement between executing as well as operating bodies. So in which operating fix a corridor for the executive bodies, such that there is certain reasonable amount of certainty to grant the block for inspection as well as maintenance. So what are the challenges encountered in implementation of rolling block? So first challenge is the lack of storage of data. Then there is no common platform for all the stakeholders, starting from the SSC level to the branch officers. So due to which there is no synchronization in demand of block as well as granting of blocks. Also there is challenges in the block demanded by different departments, which need to be synchronized. Now coming on to the rolling block implementation system, which the Malda division has created a unique web app, which will be described by the senior DN sir.
As we can see, the challenges were mainly we didn't have some sort of data storage which incorporated all stakeholders. Like we have our TMS, TRD department would have similar something about theirs. Signaling departments would have, and operating departments would have, but there was no common platform for integrating all these data in one common platform where we could analyze what are the reasons which can be improved. We have a web-based software where the key objectives that we wanted were, number one, the common platform for all stakeholders, including the field supervisors, such that they can create their own demands in this software. Based on their inspections, they will put in a demand, and this demand will then get accepted by the operating department. Once it gets accepted, then as we can see, there would be a reasonable confidence that this block will get granted. And once that reasonable confidence is there, the executing team will be able to put in more resources in manpower or in machine, so that the work is get done. Next, we also wanted, once the data is getting collected in a common platform, we needed some kind of tool to process it to give some meaningful reports which can then be used to analyze and then to find out how can we overcome and even improve this further. As we can, what we have experienced in the last 3 months, initially what used to happen that the blocks which used to be granted, where engineering departments will feed in their blocks, TRD will feed in their blocks, and signaling departments will feed, but we couldn't have a single synchronization for that. So once this data processing was done, what we did was we classified the blocks into 2 different parts. One was primary blocks, and then there are secondary blocks. The primary blocks are the blocks which are major blocks, which required more than 3 hours, or in any section, the longest block would be considered as a primary block. This can be entered beforehand in more than 2 months, 3 months, even we can go for 6 months. Once this gets entered and these are accepted by the operating department, then the next stage where small blocks are required, especially by signaling departments for their maintenance, TRD department for their maintenance. Even for our engineering departments, we need small blocks for welding, for SEJ inspections. This can be auto-fitted into those blocks, into the shadow of those blocks. What this has done, as we can see, we will see further, that it has in fact reduced our requirement of blocks. Then for helping the field supervisors, what we have done is how to predict a block for more than 2 months, 3 months. So what we have done in this software is we have created a to-do list, where based on inspections done by field officials, they will input their requirements of block. And they will classify them in terms of the number of blocks required, corridor blocks required to achieve that maintenance work, and the quantum of work would be described, and they will classify into whether it is urgent or whether it is important. So once this is written down in a software, then from there we can plan in advance the works which are urgent and important, they have to be done immediately. But the works which are not urgent immediately, but they are going to be important in future, these can be slotted in those pre-planning stages, around 3 to 4 months or 2 months above. So as we have discussed, the major primary blocks are going to be fed in beforehand, and the secondary blocks, what we have done is the secondary blocks which required less duration, this get auto-accepted in the system. Means we don't require for operating department to accept it. So these are some sample data where the to-do list that we discussed, where the field supervisors can input their requirements, like the quantum of work required, the number of full corridors, the progress that is going to be achieved in it, the importance and urgency. These are the sample data of operating department which has accepted the planned blocks, and they have given a fixed corridor which is the duration where they are going to give the blocks. Now this is one data where we have collected up to October during the time we prepared our paper. So we can see that initially what used to happen that the number of blocks used to be a lot more. But with time, with processing of data, what we have seen is that a lot of those blocks can easily get converted into shadow blocks of those primary blocks. And hence we see that there is a significant reduction in primary blocks being demanded. So in net, even it will be advantageous for punctuality that the net block requirement is decreased and the work output is increasing. Earlier, one of the challenges was that there was uncertainty in granting of blocks. What this led was that due to uncertainty in block demanded due to various factors, there was lack of confidence in executing officials to plan their resources. Now what has happened that after the blocks are getting, with a reasonable confidence, the blocks are getting accepted and being given, we can in fact put in more resources in that time. We can put in additional welding batches during the same time to get more work done, because we know that this block is in most likely going to get granted. So as we can see that initially in this slide, the blocks used to be, because it's such a huge duration, 2 months above, initially what happened that we planned for blocks but we couldn't demand it in actuality when required. But with proper planning, we are able to now put in resources, and as per our resources we can plan the blocks. So we can see from shifting from August to September, and then October we have taken data up to 14th October. The unplanned offered is getting reduced, the planned offered is getting increased. This is similar data where planned, demanded and unplanned availed. It is a breakup of that for August, September and October till 14th October. Finally concluding, we would say that with the implementation of field officials in this system, in this common platform, what has given is, in fact, they are more enthusiastic in taking blocks, and they have a reasonable confidence where they know that if we plan these blocks in advance, then we can get them properly. And the second most important takeaway for us is we are able to use the shadow planning tool in this software which we have built in, where what we do is we have already entered the block requirement in advance, but the software using its AI tool is going to help in predicting whether this block can be converted into a shadow. Suppose in a section a primary block has been planned in a day, and some shadow block, some blocks by other departments have been planned the next day or the day before. But it's not necessary that they have to be taken on that day. They can be converted into this day. The bringing together everyone in the same platform and getting the data using AI tool, what we can do is the AI tool suggests these blocks can be converted into a shadow block a day in advance or a day before or 2 days before. So this has also helped in reduction a lot of block requirement. And finally, as we can see, the pressure on field officials to get the blocks done has reduced considerably. They do not have to waste their time in getting the blocks and waiting for the whole day to get a block done, and the time saved can be better utilized in inspections. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, speakers. So now I would request Shri Rajiv Gupta also to join us over here, along with Shri Bineet and Shri Samarth Garg, and Shri D. Anjanayelu Reddy sir as well, because there are a few questions and we would like to ask you the questions as and when. So we request all the three speakers who have just presented to kindly join us on the dais, and as and when. So the first question is to Dr. Rajiv Gupta from Mr. Sharad Mehta.
I'll request authors to reply the question if the reply is short and to the point. If a question is open-ended, that can be discussed separately with the question asking person, because if it doesn't concern the entire audience, not a point to.
All right. Thank you so much, Chairman. So let's keep it precise and let's keep it to the minimum. So the question to you, Mr. Rajiv Gupta, is that has any analysis made about change in productivity with more assured availability of blocks? And the second question is, what planning is being made to improve productivity in the blocks?
Yeah, as I have mentioned that number of blocks hour has been increased, machines reliability has to increase. If we have to achieve at the 100%, we have to keep our machine at the most, because machine breakdowns, once you get a 4-hour block on daily basis, machine breakdowns has to be reduced. Presently it is 10 to 12%, but it should be have to brought out, because if the traffic department assured you block of 4 hours per day and you don't avail the block or for 7 days or 8 days due to no part availability, that's create a problem for the engineering department. So machine की performance अच्छी होनी चाहिए आपकी, और then block productivity will increase surely. मतलब.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope it has answered your question. Now the next question is from Neeraj Jain. Neeraj sir? Yes, sir. Your question is addressed to whom? Anybody? All right. So this question goes to all the three speakers. Huh? The first speaker. We would like to give it to Shri D. Anjanayelu Reddy. Does the block demand also include the preferred time of the day slot? This may be necessary since many track maintenance operations on LWR specifically are time of the day sensitive.
I repeat the question. Does the block demand also include the preferred time of the day slot? This may be necessary since many track maintenance operations are time of the day sensitive. 100%. The very purpose of rolling block is, apart from the duration of the block, the timings of the block also locks, and it's very important that we should get the block when it is most needed. Certainly it is taken into account. For example, the de-stressing, as you know, once you have the machinery for doing the de-stressing, 100% you can alter the whatever the times, you can have a flexibility to have it. But if you are still going on with the manual means of de-stressing, certainly you need to more dependent on this. But our effort should be to be time dependent. We should be able to take the block 24 hours, bringing more and more the machinery, advancing our technologies so that we follow when the least traffic is disrupted. Our aim is not to disrupt the traffic and then go ahead with our maintenance works. So it has to go in a balanced way. But certainly, as you rightly said, presently we take the timings for the time sensitive activities. Certainly we take them into consideration. Thank you.
Next question is by Sri Shivkumar, retired GM NF Railway. As I have told, the number of blocks granted has increased. Please do not compare with the percentage. Previously, you are asking 100 hours, they are giving 700 hours. That is 70%. Now you are made a demand for the 2000 hours. They are getting 1400 hours. So in comparison with 700, you are getting 100% more, 1400 hours. So please don't confuse with the percentage what, because now the block is given more. So it is certainly your concern is there. That is, I also asking the House that we should also talk about the block granted during our punctuality. We at every level we discuss about the punctuality, but we don't discuss what percentage of block has been granted at any levels. Except our MI sir or board level when the issue comes. So at the divisional level, GM should be emphasized to discuss the block granted in the corridor blocks also. That is my humble request to the House. And block, once we discuss in the meetings that why half an hour you block busted, why 1 hour you have block busted, but never we have discussed why we have not given the block instead for the full 3 hours. Block is cancelled, block is, trains is much more, but never that aspects have come into the picture. So that should be also the part of the picture. When we are asked why you have busted the block, why we should not ask why we have not given for the 7-day block due to reverse. That should be, things should be in the mind.
And that sums up all the questions which we received. Thank you so much for your questions. Before we move ahead for the next step, I would request the chairman and the co-chairman to kindly summarize the entire session.
Thank you very much. It has been a nice session. Firstly, I will request my colleague, co-chairman, Mr. Madhuresh Kumar, who has a very long experience of working in divisions and struggling for the blocks for quite some time in a most difficult situation. So let him summarize the 3 papers which have been presented.
Thank you very much. On the onset, I would like to say that all the 3 papers were excellent presentation made. They were not only the general information, but they were based on the practical experience they have given in detail, that how they have made the plans, how they have executed it, and how they are going to improve it. Particularly, South Central Railway has properly mentioned that how benchmarking is to be done, how they have been able to achieve within short span of 3 months the 30% to 40% increase. And the best part is that the South Central Railway says that asset failure has so soon dropped down, reduced. That's a very good thing, and TRC results have also substantially improved. I am more happy to see that South Central Railway is looking forward for innovations to include artificial intelligence and other aspects, so that the future also they can improve the whole working system for this block program. NF Railway, Mr. Rajiv Gupta has done a good comparison of conventional and rolling block, and they have also gradually improved from 2-week planning to 26-week planning. They have got a good flexible system of again reviewing and improving the planning of the block, and each work has been planned and monitored closely. They have also been able to achieve 30 to 40% improvement in the performance and availability of the block. The idea of food for thought that the punctuality should be discussed along with the availability of the rolling block, it's a welcome thing, and I think all of us will agree that these type of monitoring is very much required. On Eastern Railway, Senior DN Coordination, Malda town has presented very nicely all the challenges they are having. The best part was that introduction of IROMS, a software which they have been able to develop so quickly, and it appears to be quite effective, and this beginning is very, very nice. And with this digitization, these things will be possible to be implemented not across the division, but in the division, but across the divisions also. One of the good things which Malda division has introduced is the use of the shadow block. The small blocks required during the period will be getting automatically accepted in the large. This is a very good concept, and all of us, all the divisions should try to emulate it and understand. This will reduce a lot of pressure in having the planning smoothened out and introducing small blocks, not a major issue for everybody. So this is auto acceptance of the small block is a very good concept, and this should always be included in others programs also. Overall, I will like to mention that within a span of within 3 months, this concept which was introduced in month of June hardly, within 3 months it has like a wildfire gone across the Indian railways, and now all the divisions and even up to the lowest level people are working. That shows the leadership, excellent leadership and excellent acceptability at the ground level. This momentum has to be kept and ensured. This is in my such long career, I have not seen any such concept getting so quickly spread and accepted. This is a great thing. I must say our relay board and people below there, they all have worked together and reached to this extent. At this stage, I would like to mention a few things of the importance of this the block program is now well known, well established, well mentioned by MI member, our Honorable Minister and other paper presenters. But a few things I like to mention, that this ensures not only better safety, punctuality, but also better utilization of our ETA. If we are able to implement these things properly, then we will have better utilization of ETA. That will again give better opportunity for more infrastructure works, which are many more things are coming up and lot of things are required to be done. This will also ensure, as a senior manager, better coordination in all the departments across the department. This will set a good culture of developing a coordinated effort in all activity for the senior managers, and this will be very beneficial at the zonal and divisional level, particularly when the branch officers and the PHODs will be working in coordination. And once this aspect of coordination is started, then it will certainly be seen in other fields also. So that's a win-win situation for the senior management also. Now coming to the way the things are planned, the comparison of productivity, as one of our attendees have also mentioned, that this is also to be compared, that what was the productivity of each block earlier, now how much is there. This will be giving a good indications and also give a better confidence to the management that yes, this is giving a better result. We are comparing all these things division wise or zonal wise, the percentage. What we should do is must, and at appropriate managerial level, to see that what is the section wise availability and granting of the block. This is very essential. You may have overall very good thing, but the weaker link may be left somewhere in the division. There may be, or the certain sections. That should not happen. So our monitoring system should go in that detail, that each section where it is required to be done. The next point I would like to also mention, that the maintenance requirement we have got already benchmarked. Now, what is the area in the maintenance? How we are reducing the area in the maintenance is to be also monitored. We should have a system by which we can say that our maintenance area has been reduced so much, and or there is hardly any maintenance requirement left to be done. This is a very important parameter to look into, so that there is no backlog in the maintenance and we are updated with our maintenance system. Finally, I will say that this auto acceptance of the smaller block is very good concept. This should be all built up in our system. Our system should also have, along with the rolling program, that how the ETA utilization is there and how those ETAs can be better used. That also can be as a next step included in our program. That will give a lot of benefit to the traffic also and for planning of the work also. Lastly, I will mention that We have come very fast up to this level, but to maintain this level, another aspect has been added that this is now being included in GR, SR and different manuals. That's a very good step, and this will ensure some stability in the system which is being introduced now. But along with that, it is essential that we should have continuous planning, digitization, monitoring and review to improve the system so that it becomes a culture in the whole railway system. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madresh. Since my colleague has covered the topic in such great detail, I will restrain myself from speaking on the subject matter. But anyway, since I am chairman, I will say something, some other things on this issue. Firstly, I am really happy to know that this kind of initiative has percolated down to the field. We have been thinking, it's not that in this forum and so many people, we have been thinking about the blocks, कैसा होना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए, लेकिन बोर्ड में मैंने भी काम किया है, वहाँ से इस तरह की चीज़ निकालना आसान नहीं होता. वहाँ पर जेपीओ साइन हो जाता है एमटीएमई में और वो जेपीओ का उसके बाद नीचे जो है कोई nobody listens to the JPO. It has been conceived and implemented, and as we can see from the speakers and this thing, it has been very well accepted in the field. If thing is not workable, it will not be accepted. The asset maintenance has improved, perhaps without causing any loss to the productivity or traffic. So there is some kind of inefficiency in the system which has been addressed. For this, the whosoever railway board member, infra and our honorable minister must be congratulated. This is going to be the path breaking if it flows out. I remember during my service career, there were certain things which were initially we thought that is not possible. When Mr. Y.P. Anand said zero missing fitting, we thought कि zero missing fitting क्या था, PWI चोरी कर लेगा. But today zero missing fitting has become a norm. When somebody said that gauge conversion, there should be mega block and there should be no frills asked by operating department. It should be treated as a track renewal on a wider gauge. And with that simple philosophy, it was accepted in the field and we got 40,000 kilometers of meter gauge converted in the broad gauge. Prior to that, what was the progress? 200 kilometers every year, 100 kilometers every year. So, elimination of level crossing also I put in that category. Because we never thought that we will be able to eliminate the level crossing at such a large scale, which has been done, and methods have been developed, and 7 hours block, this block. So things have come of age. I think it's a very good initiative, and there is no going back. It will go forward only. Now I have my own issues. Particularly, Honorable Minister said that what is happening in the foreign railway system. So in that context, I have a view that what we say that jointly agreed, this jointly agreed business doesn't work. In the field of maintenance, the jointly, today, MI may be in a dominant position. So he is able to, this thing, tomorrow, the equations may change. So, in the all world railway systems, particularly on the western side, I am not talking of China or Russia, there is a slightly different thing. But in the Europe, track जब maintenance का है तो maintenance का है, operating से कोई मतलब नहीं है. और जब operating का है तो operating का है, maintenance से कोई मतलब नहीं है. When they talk of 26 hours advance planning, because at the end of the day, it is not asset failure or reducing the speed and this thing, increasing the speed. It is the transportation. How many paths you generate. And there it is the infrastructure man who announces how many paths he will give 26 weeks after. And that is why there the planning has to be given 26 weeks in advance, because the passenger train reservation system, they will incorporate your this thing. So I think that stage will come where we will give them the path depending on whatever is the transportation need, and that will be the final outcome of this rolling block system. It is going to get refined over a period of time as people will develop the softwares and AI this thing. And one last thing which is of course not connected with, and in a lighter vein, Honorable Minister said, भाई पीछे से हाथ उठते हैं, तो अभी पीछे से ही उठेंगे. जब IRMS इम्प्लीमेंट हो जाएगा और आप टेक्निकल बात करेंगे तो हाथ पीछे से ही उठेंगे. With that, thank you very much. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to chair this session.
Thank you, Chairman and Co-Chairman, for addressing the issue so well and summarizing the entire session, technical session. Now we would like to take this moment to present the Chairman and the Co-Chairman a memento, and who better by the hands of Shri R.N. Sunkar, Member Infrastructure Railway Board, to do the honor. We would also request Shri R.N. Sunkar sir to kindly stay back and also present mementos to the authors, and it will be a great honor for all the authors to receive mementos by the hands of Shri R.N. Sunkar sir. First, we would like to invite the first paper, Railway Resilience, Analyzing the Effectiveness of Rolling Block Planning in Mitigating Service Disruptions, Shri D. Anjaneyalu Reddy, CTE, South Central Railway, Mrs. B. Geeta Sahiti, SSEP, P-Way, Headquarters, South Central Railway. Can we have both the authors? And we also request the chairman and the co-chairman to join us for the picture. Next, we would like to invite Rolling Block Paradigm Shift in Inspection and Maintenance of Railway Infrastructure, Shri Rajiv Gupta, CTE, NF Railway, Shri Sahemlung Kame, Senior Den, Lumding, NF Railway, and Shri Chetan Kumawat, Aden, Lumding, NF Railway. Next, our third paper, Rolling Block Paradigm Shift in Inspection and Maintenance of the Railway Infrastructure. Can we please have the authors, Shri Bineet Bhagat, Senior Den, Malda, Eastern Railway, and Shri Samarth Garg, AEN, Jamalpur, Eastern Railway. Thank you, Sunkar sir. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Co-Chairman. It was an honor to have all of you on the dais and chair and co-chair this session. Now let's proceed towards the technical session 1B. Put your hands together and welcome our next chairman, who will be escorted by Shri D.K. Chandrakar, Central Railway, TP Central Railway, and the chairman is Shri A.K. Harit, former General Manager, DLW. We request you to kindly escort Shri A.K. Harit sir. Next, we request Shri Rajiv Mishra, CEG Central Railway, to kindly escort our co-chairman, Shri Amit Goyal, ex-PCE South Central Railway. We will request the chairman and the co-chairman to kindly present the opening remarks.
I think ball has been set rolling by the first technical session. I think in this session we have two papers. Two papers, and time is, how much time is? 30 minutes. You are cutting 15 minutes from this thing. So then I think each author will limit itself to 10 minutes, and max 10 to 12 minutes, I will say. 10 minutes first, this warning bell will be given, and that will be indication that author should sum up, come to the conclusion. And my suggestion is that rather than going into too much details, if they present the salient features of their paper, that will be nice. And both the papers, since belongs to innovations, innovative things, that may generate a lot of interest and questions. So sometime we will have to keep for questions also. So let us begin with the first paper, and after presentations, my colleague, Mr. Co-Chairman, will summarize both the papers, and then we will proceed further. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we also request all the delegates out there, if you have any questions, we have our volunteers right there with a pen and paper. So if you have any questions, you can present it to us and we will deliver it to the authors. So the first paper is, the title is State-of-the-Art Technology and Innovative Techniques Used by IRCON Intel Limited in WDFC's Sachin, Vaitarna Section, Mumbai Division. And the author is Shri Sitesh Kumar Singh, Project Director, IRCON Mumbai. Over to you, sir.
Respected seniors, colleagues and friends, I am going to present in this some innovative techniques used in the WDFC's project between Sachin and Vaitarna section of Mumbai division. So straightway I am going to the presentation part. So I have divided my presentation into three parts, very brief about the project, and then the techniques I have used and the conclusion. So techniques I have subdivided into two categories, that is the civil engineering part as well as in the track part. Now the project runs parallel to the Western Railway Rajdhani Road from Vaitarna, which is a suburb of Mumbai, to Sachin, 15 kilometers south of Surat. So it is a 186 route kilometer, double line, so main line is 372 kilometers along with 5 stations, crossing stations, connectivity with the Indian Railway system at 2 locations and some sidings. So it is around 400 track kilometers. So 40%, 60% of this project is falls in the state of Gujarat and remaining 40% in the state of Maharashtra. Now, it is a design build contract, what we call EPC contract, awarded to a consortium comprising of Mitsui, a Japanese company, as the lead partner, IRCON International Limited, and Tata Projects Limited. 3 packages were awarded, but CTP 12, that is the civil and track package, is exclusive. One of the 3 packages is exclusively being done by IRCON. So original cost was over 2,700 crores, but now it has gone up to 3,400 crores due to some variations. So quantum of work is already indicated, like 155 lakh cubic meter of earthwork, etc. Now I am going to the innovative things which have been used on the civil engineering part. So introduction to the steel bridges. Now special crown for reaction pile load test. Introduction of RCC twin box segments as
crossing track through one of the ROB approaches. Then gap filling with soil wrapping, geotextile and geogrid. And construction of one largest elevated rotary as a rotary junction for ROB. Then we have also given provision for prefabricated vertical drains for ground improvement work. Then introduction of RCC U girder as superstructure for ROB, it has got a specific purpose. Then provision of precast RCC segments for ducts and box culverts and say drains, etc. So I will discuss them briefly one by one. Kindly give me some time, sir. So stilt bridges, this out of the 186 route kilometer, 5 kilometers of this project falls in the coastal regulation zone of Maharashtra, Palghar district. It is very near, low-lying area, very near to the Arabian Sea coast. And in this region, originally we had planned to have the normal formation work, that is earthen formation. But there were three problems. First thing, in 24-hour circle, tide comes twice a day. So for 4 hours, water remains there and outflows. So twice this happens. So, and it is a low-lying area, very low-lying area. So ground improvement work was not feasible in this section, in patches. So the second problem was there are thick mangroves. These are forest protected, and forest department was not agreeing to allow large-scale cutting of such mangroves. And third thing was that the 2 meter of the layers, the existing soil is totally marshy, slushy, muddy, and we needed to remove the entire thing to have a proper formation. But due to these conditions, it was not possible. So then we decided to go for stilt bridges. These stilt bridges are nothing but it is pier cap and pile cap is common. I mean the superstructure rests directly over the pile cap. So in this case, at 3 different locations where the tidal effect was predominant, we went for the stilt bridges, and in the remaining portion, out of 5 kilometers, it is around 1.7 kilometer we built with stilt bridges, and remaining 3.3 kilometers we went for the ground improvement by prefabricated vertical drains, which I will discuss separately. And for the entire this thing, our superstructure we kept as uniform 24 meters. So it is 70 spans upline, 70 down, so 140 total deck slabs. So one deck slab is supported over 2 PSC eye girders, so total 280 eye girders. And though all these eye girders were casted in the centralized depot, along with the chiller plant facility for proper curing because of this coastal region. So another thing, all these the piles used in this stilt bridges, mostly they were 2 meter dia piles, and we required 4,000 metric ton of load for testing, for initial pile load test. So we checked in India, it was not available, any crown was not available of this much capacity. So we searched overseas also, and then we came to know that Taiwanese had used 4,000 metric ton capacity crown. So we requested them. They agreed to give us the design part, design only. So we got the design done from Taiwanese for 6,000 metric ton with 30% extra capacity, reserve capacity, and it was fabricated in Faridabad, and we tested it successfully in this region. So this is the process of pre-stressing, etc. of the anchor piles, because to generate that much load, though we deployed the jacks of 1,500 ton capacity, 4 jacks, but to generate that load, we had to go for the micro-piling, pre-stressing strands and grouting. Another thing, we did the introduction of RCC twin box segments in Valsad ROB, because NTC, for movement of new track construction machine, NTC machine track laying, we have to have a continuous formation. But there was encumbrance of Valsad ROB, though this new ROB is sanctioned here, but being a long lead item, we plan to have some opening through the one of the approaches of the ROB, and Mr. Piyush Argwal sir, who is already there here, he was instrumental in giving this idea to have a twin box RCC box segment, so that one track can pass through each. So we went for this. This is 16 meter by 10 meter by 1 meter width segment, weighing each 90 tons each. So this but the challenge was we started the work at the end of April, and by the end of June, monsoon was approaching this region, so we had hardly any time. It was a lot of difficulty because it was COVID time, peak of the second wave of COVID. So for casting of these 34 segments, 20 segments of box and 14 base slabs, all settings we needed to prepare simultaneously and oxygen cylinder was disallowed to be used for this use, and then we went for the plasma cutters, and then even the movement of men in masonry, night curfew, so many problems. But we completed the entire 34 segments by end of May. Then we took the block of the ROB from 2nd June to 21st June. The state government agreed, was feeling that we won't be able to complete it, but we said we gave them a guarantee and we did it in 20 days time. This job was well appreciated by all corners. For transporting of this 16 meter by 10 meter segments, 90 ton segments also, we had to design the special steel frame. We did it, and this got a wide media coverage, positive media coverage, and it was recorded in the India Book of Records and also in the Limca Book of Records. We also, for putting of segment was one part at the backfill. When it did the cut and cover part, filling of backfill was also a challenge because construction of RCC wall in this 20 days time was not possible. Even the Gabion wall was not possible because of the restricted space it has its approaches. So we took the help of McAfee and Tech Fab. They have their stalls. And one person from IIT Mumbai. So then finally we decided to go for this soil wrapping with geotextile and geogrid. And it is just L-shaped RCC reinforcement cage. Inside this we provide the geogrid first and then the geotextile. And then this is the crust aggregate is provided inside this. It's like a gunny bag, enclosed gunny bag, you can see, you can visualize. So this is even the rolling of the crust aggregate was a problem. Normal roller, instead of normal roller, we have to deploy the baby roller. And this is the one of the section across the ROB. This is along the ROB, you can see the L section cage is in progress. This way we provided the detail you can have in their stall. And having successfully done this, we went for one service girder at near Pardi. There is one LC89. So IR wanted box pushing from DFC side to their Indian Railway side, box pushing. So at the same time, our NTC was approaching. So we had to place a service girder also, so that box pushing plus NTC movement can go simultaneously. So we provided the abutments also with this material instead of CC creep because CC creep was consuming a lot of space. Now, we constructed one largest rotary in the Valsad, 4-leg rotary. So it is due to the contour of work, around 1600 square meter of area and some 725 metric ton of reinforcement, 2000 cubic meter steel. And because of the 1.5 meter depth, because of the quantum of work, this was recorded as the largest rotary in Asia and recorded in the Asia Book of Records. Another thing, we had the provision of PVD in that same coastal regulatory zone, in the remaining portion of the coastal regulatory zone, and how it works. So for PVD, you can see that this is the, say, soft clay part. About half meter part we have to take out for movement of men and masonry, replace with good soil. Then this is the first layer of the drainage layer, 8 to 10 millimeter aggregate. And over this we drive this vertical drains, and then the second layer of the top 150 mm, 10 to 10 mm coarse aggregate is laid as a drainage layer at some slope, and then geotextile is overlaid over this so that preloading can be done with the normal formation. It is a long-term consolidation process. For instrumentation, we had to provide the settlement plate at around 250 meter and piezometer for pore water pressure at 500 meters each. So this is the PVD, it can be seen in the stall because paucity of time. So this is a circular hollow tube, and it is driven with the help of the excavator, along with there is a shaft and driving arrangement, etc. So that is the PVD being done. This is this side, sorry. So driving arrangement, this is the driving arrangement, this is the second layer of coarse aggregate, this is the geotextile, and over this we made the formation. So another thing, good thing we did is the introduction of PSC girder. In the DFC part, this headway between OHE and the rail top is 5.56 meters, whereas for the DFC track, the headway is 7.5 meters, so difference of 1.94 meter. The old ROB at two locations, the old ROB pier and abutment were coming in the alignment of the DFC formation, so we needed to dismantle those ROBs and construct new ROB, but the problem was to construct the new ROB, we had to raise the top level of the road by 2 meters to accommodate the DFC headway clearance for OHE. But there was constraint at one end. There were four rotary junction. It was not possible to shift the rotary junction to maintain that top level gradient 1 in 30. So we decided to have something innovative, and finally we went we use this U girder, PSC U girder thing to do this job. And the thickness of PSC girder at the end is 800 millimeter. And if you go for the 36 meter composite girder, the total overall thickness of the is 2.8 meters. So saving of 2 meter here, and we successfully done this job. Then we have used this Fuji Silvertech drains also. We had our own design, but these are compact and simpler. So to fast track the work, we used both the things. So details can be had from there. The one thing only I would like to mention here is that we used it for the 3 canals also, canal crossing also, MNB, minor bridges also, with precast segments. Because there was canal authority did not allow us to more than 2 weeks block. So in situ was not possible. We went for this after satisfying that they have good water tightening arrangement. So we also constructed this. Now for track works, only 4 items, sir. Kindly give me 2-3 minutes. For track works, NTC machine, obviously I'm not going to tell much about the new track construction machine. GPS-based survey instruments, sir, kindly give me half minute. And then super puller also we have used for the distressing work. And undersleeper pad and undersleeper mat also we have used. Now, NTC machine, it is similar to our American TRT, except that it has got one central crawling unit. So it can move, the front trolley can move on rail as well as on the track. So this can lay the track in a similar manner to American TRT, but without any track also it can move. I am not going to going to detail on this. But definitely for survey trolley, there is this we used as a Trimble make Jedo survey trolley. It has 2 units. One is the total station trolley, prism trolley. The best part is it is a kinematic survey. So once the track machine has done this job, now we use this survey instrument, and it can kinematically record the parameters, and it compares the parameter with the designed GPS coordinate and the actual coordinate, calculates the difference, and from the same format, you can take out the pen drive and use in the automatic lining control tamping machines, and immediately we can tamp it. So there is hardly any idling for the track machine as well for machine and material. So this is a very good instrument. We got it from Trimble, USA. And this is for normal our flashword welding machines. We are able to make panels of 1 kilometer each, 250 meter panel welded, 1 kilometer each. Now during distressing, not to allow any AT weld in it, the 1 kilometer panel has to be butted with the next 1 kilometer panel. So these machines were not capable. We from Holland make USA, we got this super puller. It is a tensor sort of thing. So this tensor has 160 ton pulling capacity. So with this, we were able to have this. There is a computerized system. Everything is recorded at site. So this is another thing. And the last thing, sir, I would like to discuss for this my presentation is, in below one of the ROB, Boiser ROB, there was a problem that the ROB was retained. So IR track had the proper headway, but for DFC track, we had to lower the formation by 1.5 meter. But there was a pipeline which nobody knew. So 1 meter dia pipeline, MIDC, Maharashtra Industrial Development Pipeline was going below this. So how the ballast cushion we are getting only 250 mm instead of 350 mm stipulated. So to reduce the ballast cushion, we searched for different options. Then Mr. S.K. Negi, ED DFC, suggested regarding this Jetner, the Austrian company. They have a unit in Pune also. They have installed also. So details you can see. Then we use this. The MIDC, 1 minute, sir. MIDC wanted 8 crores for this, the work, rolling the pipe. Anyway, I'm completing, sir. Now coming to this, with the design build contract, we have the flexibility to use different methods. And with this, we cost effective also everything, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sri Shitesh Kumar Singh. Do we have questions for him? Or we'll take the questions towards the end? We'll take the questions towards the end. Thank you so much, sir. Next, we have the title of the paper is Innovative Techniques Crafted by RVNL During the Construction of Rail Flyover, Important Pennar River Bridge and Tunneling Through Shallow Overburden Zones by Ground Improvement in the Railway Projects of Vijayawada Division of South Central Railway. And the author is Dr. D.V. Subramaniam, CPM, RVNL, Chennai. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On innovations, the presentation is about. We made a 2.2 kilometer long rail flyover near Guduru, which is the yard is of Y junction. So without this flyover, the third line will not yield complete help for the traffic department. And we also made as a part of SPV, Krishnapatnam Rail Company Limited, another ROV, rail flyover, 360 meter long, to cross NH as well as railway track. And then another challenge was important bridge on Penna River. And then we made two tunnels. One is 6.63 kilometer, another is 1 kilometer long tunnel. And the innovations we have adopted shows this. This is the Penna River Bridge. The third line is shown there. So the challenges are floods. The working season is very limited. So we have to complete the piling through 8-meter thick of sand. So the borehole was collapsing as well as 8 mm thick available sheet was getting bent. So we used the liners and the liner was getting bent, so strengthened the liner. And then the hyperlink, I am not able to work on that. So it will drive, okay, it is working. And this 700-meter long important bridge was commissioned on 39/22. The details are in the paper. And the next one was regarding this flyover, where the flyover was crossing the Group A route tracks. The launching of composite gutter was a challenge. And then piling near existing track and abutment was a big challenge. So we had to provide sheet pile very close to the track. And then piling was to be done at 4-meter distance from the center line of the track. So it is a very busy route. So every 10-15 minutes there was a train. The rule was not to do any work, no movement during trains. And then we can see what we have provided, sheet piles for all the four piers, solid piers. So behind the sheet pile, the 4 pile rigs were working, and the diameter of the pile was 1200 mm. The depth was about 30 meters, which was going through the existing fill. Work was going on day and night, and successfully all the 40 piles near the track were completed. Another challenge was abutment A1. We had to make 8-meter deep cut. And if you provide sheet pile, it will go up to 13-14 meters, which was not available in the market. So what we have done, we have made 300 mm dia piles, 2 rows, and extended in the line of abutment another retaining wall, backfilled, and then the cutoff level of the pile was elevated right from ground level up to about 2 to 3 meters, and the piling was successfully completed. And then we were using reaction method besides cartilage to save the time to do the pile load test. And the shutter we were using up to 9-meter height to get a good quality and faster work. And we were also using for safety mobile hydraulic lifts. And then again casting of trestle beam was a challenge. Trains were running, OH was charged. So we used FRP sheet for protection of the men working there. And sheet piling was continued up to the completion of the trestle beams. Safety fencing was there. Work was done safely, and daily there was a pep talk with labor, and OHE was taken care of. And then launching was another big challenge. 36-meter span composite girders, 4 numbers. We used 500-ton crane. And then after doing all the 4 girders launching, we used sacrificial sheets on the top of the girders for the cantilever portion and in between girders, and then side vertical sheet. As a result, the labor were very safely working, irrespective of the movement of the trains, no block was required. And then concreting of slab was completed, as well as side vertical walls was also completed safely. And this was the completed 2.2 kilometer section. And CRS inspection was done on 17th of August 2023. Yeah, so my second case study was on the tunnel. It is 56 square meter area of the excavation. And then after lining, it was coming to 44 square meters. Here the height of the overburden was 500 meters. But we had some locations where the height of overburden was only 4 to 5 meters. And then approach to the site, it is a detour of 10 to 15 kilometers. Only jeeps will go. And we had to go through the streams and forest area. And the designer said overburden should be 2D, otherwise we have to go for cut and cover method. And that means the height is about 8 meters, so less than 16 meters. We had to go for cut and cover method. But we have the streams flowing across, so any cut and cover method, the tunnel will get flooded during rains. And then the overburden was phyllite rock. Phyllite is a metamorphosis of shale, slate, and then phyllite. And we can see the locations tunnel 1 and tunnel 2, 1 kilometer, 6.63 kilometer. And then we wanted to go for tunneling only by doing ground improvement from the top. But the right of way was about 30 meters. So the tunnel width is about, we took 8 to 10 meters. So there we went for ground improvement using grout holes as well as micro piles. So this was the grout hole. Then in the grout hole we added reinforcement. Then we called it micro pile. And like that about the spacing we kept 1.5 meter above the tunnel and beyond up to boundary 2 meter. The idea was the whole overburden will act like a block. And then tunneling was done. This is the grouting. Similar to the arch bridges we were grouting earlier. And we used the packers so that permeation is more. And then we were monitoring the blast. So whether the charge is more or less, then we thought the charge was more, so we reduced the charge, increased the number of dummy holes, and then yeah, we were happy with this. And then the top surface was being monitored. Maximum settlement during tunneling we observed was about 9 mm, which was negligible. And then during tunnel also usually our pull was 3 meters. Whereas we reduced the pull to 1 meter, reduced the charge, the number of holes charged were few, and then we have taken additional steps of splicing with SD self-drilling rock bolts. We have pre-excavation grouting, and we have used lattice girders, wire mesh, shotcrete, rock bolts. We have taken all possible precautions so that there will be no collapse during the tunneling. And we have extensively instrumented with convergence anchors as well as shotcrete cells. And there was hardly any settlement and there were hardly any spike in stresses. And like this, perseverance was the key to success. Slowly these were completed. Tunneling was completed and huge savings in running in crores. And we did in 222 days tunnel 1 and tunnel 2 in 25 months. And this was with radar type ballastless track sleepers with fast-flow fittings, fit for 100 kmph. And then we used the lime modification. Lime modification is when you add lime, lime is having calcium positive ions and clay is having minus charge. So as a result, when lime is added, then it is CaO, quick lime, then there will be cation exchange, and then there will be flocculation as well as agglomeration. And within few hours, within 24 hours, we could take a vehicle there. And then for lime strengthening, we mixed the lime with rotometer and then rolled, watered, and then the first layer could be done. And this happens due to pozzolanic reaction happens, and as well as carbonation. And successfully we have completed. I'm closing it. So 1 minute. So lime modification helped like this. As well, lime stabilization, SPT increased from 5 to around 20, and other parameters improved. And then we used some miscellaneous like slope roller. And then we were using templates for even vertical cut of the existing bank, side slopes, so that a toe line comes accurately, top 1 in 30 template. And then we were using geotextiles so that there will be no percolation of sand or quarry dust used. And we used these precast blocks for LC gates in South Central Railway. And we were using side ballast shutters to get initial cushion of 300 mm. Subsequent tampings, we are getting 35 centimeters. With this methodology, we did very fast work of 36 kilometer laying in 4 months. Entire my 77 kilometer third line was done with this methodology. Thank you.
All right. So with this, I would request both the authors to kindly come and join us on the stage. We have, yes, we have questions for both of you. There you go. You can decide which one you want to take.
So this is a question from. This is a question, Mr.
Kindly hold the mic close to you, sir. Kindly hold the mic, turn the mic towards you.
Okay. This one, no? It's okay. It's okay, working, no?
Yes.
So this is the question from Shri MP Singh, CPM Agra Kent, I think. Any method for weld foundation testing? So no, we have not done any weld foundation in this project. So we have not done. What was the bearing capacity required beneath the twin box? Whether any improvement to SBC been done? Yes, we have done, not in this case. Here the already ROV was there, so in the capacity was good, except that we provided the precast slabs as a, but at the many other methods, at many other places, other than prefabricated vertical drain, we have gone for improvement of ground capacity, we have gone for the boulder filling also with compaction. Has these PSC U girders been load tested? If yes, now we have to do the load testing also. These PSC girders, we have to do U girders also. We will do the load testing also. But all other tests it has gone through. So this will be doing after with commissioning. Already we have commissioned it. No, we have done the PSC load testing also for Palghar ROV. Yes, we have done the load testing also successfully.
Excuse me, we have used U girders, U slabs we call it. In South Central Railway also, we did load testing with rails.
All right, all the questions have been answered. Check.
Now we'll request my colleague, Mr. Co-Chairman, to summarize both the papers presented.
Good afternoon, Chairman Sir, MI Sir, AMC Railway Board, all the dignitaries and all the officers and railway fraternity present here. This session was a very, very useful and a very fruitful session, where two very nice and beautiful papers related to the construction working were presented by the two authors in connection with special works. I will call that special works because both the works were done in extreme difficult situation and in coastal areas. And these two papers answer a very large number of questions which construction officers are facing during execution of work. And both the papers were highly technically equipped papers and will definitely result in huge benefit to all the construction engineers and to some extent even to open line officers also. The first paper was by Mr. Shitesh Kumar Singh, Project Director, IRCON, Mumbai, for the work of IRCON done in connection with the work of dedicated freight corridor. And in these works, he has presented very nicely the special techniques which were implemented separately for works front and separately for PV works. For works front, many new and good techniques were used. If I have to summarize, use of steel bridges where pier cap and pile caps were common. Then special columns for reaction pile load testing were used. Then soil wrapping techniques were used for stabilization of the soil and for slope protection measures. Then a very large number of prefabricated structures were used in the work. In fact, so far, railway organization is struggling to use prefab works or prefab structures in our different works. So the techniques which were used will definitely benefit all the construction engineers to use prefab technologies in construction works as well as in open line works. Then new technology were also used from importing the technology from Netherlands. Then RCC twin box segments which were used for ROB and RUB works, that was also very beautifully presented. Then soil wrapping techniques with geogrid and geotextiles on approaches of ROBs were very nicely used. And so far, use of these techniques for ROB works is very scanty in Indian Railways. So I hope that with this gained knowledge and gained experience, these techniques will be used much better by railways. Then prefabricated vertical drains, PVC drains, have also been used in these projects, and that will again answer a very large number of questions to the construction engineers, especially in the marshy land and in the coastal areas. And with my experience, I can tell that in the urban areas, we have to face these problems very, very frequently. Then PSC-U girders were also used for reducing depth of the girders. On track front or PV front, many new techniques were used, which included NTC machine, then GPS-based track geometry survey instrument, and I am sure that for this GPS-based track geometry survey system is very important for achieving good quality of railway track and will be used very extensively in future in all construction works. Then they have also used flash welding plants with strong pulling arrangements for facilitating de-stressing, and then under slipper pads and under ballast mats have also been used for their works for achieving a better track. So I am sure that this paper will go a long way in improving the construction techniques in different works. Second paper was by RVNL, Mr. D.V. Subramaniam, which has been basically come out of the experience and the execution of work which has been done in connection with multi-tracking of work, multi-tracking of track in South Central Railway in a very difficult area, because I have been longly associated with the South Central Railway, so I know that that area is a very, very difficult work area. It's hardly about 20 kilometers away from the coastline. And when you execute a work in that area, you have to face a very large number of challenges. So here in the paper, he has addressed the challenges which were faced during the construction of pile foundations, while construction of important bridges, which were mainly due to collapse of the boreholes during the construction stage. Then challenges for launching of composite steel girders over track for flyover. And I can tell you that this work was really a extremely difficult work, and it has been, I will rate it amongst one of the most difficult works which has been done in Indian Railways. And this work was done very successfully with the meticulous planning which has been explained in his paper by use of several techniques for safeguarding the existing track and the existing bank slopes by use of sheet piles and several other techniques. Then he has also beautifully explained the use of shallow cover zones for ensuring the safety of track on a long-term manner, so that after opening of the line, the track does not face problem due to landslide, etc. Then some other concepts which were explained were use of sacrificial sheets for construction of flyover, use of grouting to stabilize landslides, use of micropiling, use of lime treatment for stabilization of soils, and use of internal support system while tunneling works. Then for construction of track, use of templates for formation preparation has been very nicely explained. And since I have been involved in many commissioning of those works, I can tell you that the track quality and the bridge quality and other works which were done in that project was probably one of the best in Indian Railways. So my huge compliments to both the authors for giving beautiful papers basing upon their practical experiences and sharing their knowledge with all of us. Thank you so much.
I will not take much time. Lunch time is already over and allotted time is already over. Very innovative ideas has been shared as summarized by my colleague. In my opinion, any project cannot be completed without having introducing innovative ideas or innovative concepts, particularly in construction organization. Every day and every night, new ideas and new concepts are being implemented to take the project ahead. And not why to talk of construction, even open line also in divisions. There are many new things which are being introduced in the field levels, but they are not being shared with each other because we are very poor in documentation. Even in divisions, from one unit to other unit, people are not aware what one fellow has done to the other fellow is not aware. In today's time of digitization, if some platform can be developed where a person or engineer in the field feels that he has done something new, he can upload a small write-up on that, and which can be seen by all others all over Indian Railways, and that can be useful for them. And it can be even interactive. People can even ask, may ask questions about that, how it has been done, for more clarity. I think that will give a long way in sharing the knowledge or sharing the new idea, new concept which anyone has introduced in the field for the successful completion of the project or the successful or betterment of our track maintenance or track geometry or our maintenance or in the field of bridge or building or whatever it is. With these words, I would like to thank the organizers for giving the opportunity for me and to my colleague for sharing this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Co-Chairman, and thank you all the authors. And now this is the part where we once again request Shri R.N. Sunkar Sir, Member Infrastructure Railway Board, to kindly join us on the dais and present the mementos to the Chairman and the Co-Chairman. We would also request you to kindly present the mementos to the authors, Shri Sitesh Kumar Singh, Project Director, IRCON Mumbai. And we request the Chairman and the Co-Chairman to join them for the picture as well. And next we have Dr. D.V. Subramaniam, CPM, RVNL, Chennai. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, authors. Thank you, Chairman, Co-Chairman. And thank you, Chief Guest.
Few announcements before we proceed for lunch. Because of the positive space in the adjoining veranda, we'll have to split into two groups for lunch. I'll request all our retired and serving general managers, additional members, and PSU MDs to kindly accompany MI Sir to the Iris Hall, which is to the right, the exit is to the right of the stage. And for the rest of the guests, I would request to please move to the left on the veranda. Thank you so much. And also, the lunch will be for 45 minutes, and we'll start the next session at 2:30 sharp. Thank you so much.